We were good. Let's just edit it.
Smile. You're on candy camera.
Hi, I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. And my guests today, I have two. I've got Bob Allen, our very own Bob Allen of kadytv.com. And we also have Jonathan Royes, who is the management analyst, never mind. He just works at City Hall and he does a wonderful job in everything he does.
Oh, well, thank you, babe.
I'm sorry. What would you please help me with my lazy tongue today? With the management analyst.
Yes, management analyst in the city manager's office.
I apologize. And John,
no worries.
He does it all, like I said. I guess I'm nervous because I've got two hands on today. I don't know where to start. The worst part is I won't know where to end. But anyway, I know you've been very, very involved with the city as far as all things COVID. And of course, COVID is a top priority and remains a top priority for the citizens and, and the city as a governing body. So could you give us an update on what's going on right now with COVID? It's a very fluid, it's something always different. There's always some different aspect.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, Peggy. Well, thank you for having me today. And yeah, you're right. It is a very fluid situation. We've got some good news, some exciting changes that are coming up here in the next week. Effective Monday, the County of Ventura is moving into the new tier vaccination. So the new tier for vaccinations will include any resident 16 to 64 years old that have pre-existing health conditions. So Monday at 7 a.m. they'll be able to go on to Ventura County recovers.org, go to the vaccine location and try and book their appointment for their vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's wonderful. And of course, as Jonathan said, it is for people with health issues, and they will have to have a doctor's note from what I understand. But that'll be very easy. The doctor will be able to text you something or whatever. So the main thing is, though, is to get your appointment and get that going.
Yeah. Get the vaccinations going. The other good news is that, I'm sure everyone's heard about Johnson & Johnson, their vaccine. So as soon as that starts rolling out, they'll be able to kind of incorporate that into the amount of appointments that they'll be able to make available. So, more news to come on that one. As we said, it's very fluid. It's always moving in motion.
Absolutely. And Johnson & Johnson, of course, is one dose. So if we can get a certain amount of one dose in there, we can even do more 2-dose. So
Right. Absolutely. Right. So, and I did want to share with you, Peggy, I know that we had made from the city some comments in the last week about the governor's new direction that he issued about a week ago for disadvantaged communities and helping them with the equity, being able to get to disadvantaged communities quicker, the vaccine. And one of the things that we thought was going to happen is that the city of Santa Paula was going to be designated based on the California Healthy Places Index. Santa Paula is kind of at the lower end if you look at the county in terms of the amount of COVID cases that we've had here, that we would be one of the communities to get that larger increase in vaccinations. And unfortunately, in looking into it, that's not going to happen, unfortunately, for our community.
I'm really astonished about that.
I know.
Yeah. And is there any appeal process to that? Is there anything the city can do or the county can do? Is there any place in the county that will be getting that?
So, a good question. So there is one zip code that's been identified based on that, and that's located in Oxnard. And it covers small parts of Oxnard, but also a larger unincorporated area.
Okay.
So
with this, don't they?
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
They go by zip codes.
Yes, and they go by zip codes. So initially on their state database, we were able to put in our zip code and look at the information, and based on that HPI index, we definitely look like a prime candidate to be one of the communities. So, your question earlier was, what are we trying to do? We're continuing to partner with the county to see what we can do, because based on our numbers, we would think that we would be eligible for that extra increase in vaccinations. But again, it's a fluid situation, right? There's a lot of different entities involved, and we're going to partner with the county again just to see what we can do behind the scenes.
Absolutely. And in the interim, of course, we have our very busy testing location, and we've also got some exciting news coming up about vaccinations.
Yes, yes. So exciting news on Monday. There's a very high probability that our testing vaccination location at the Kmart site will open up. Again, I said a high probability because, again, these things are always kind of moving in motion, right? So stay tuned for further information about that, because as soon as we get the official word that will start, we will definitely be sending messaging out to the community, letting them know that they could sign up.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, then it'll be inside too. So that's great, because a lot of them are outside in tents.
Yeah.
And also, I think our testing facility now at Harding Park over on Harvard, I read that now is just for pickup. People can pick up tests and then go ahead and bring them back. So that's good too. That really helps with the getting more people tested. So everybody out there, go to Harding Park and get tested, and at least pick up your kit and take the test yourself and bring it back. So that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
What about, I know we're looking at maybe going into the red tier next week, perhaps, maybe?
Yeah, so the county is possibly gonna, we're really close, and that red tier is gonna open up a lot of new options. I don't have all the specific details as of yet, but the good news to let everyone know is that when we do move into that red tier, it's going to be different than the old red tier that we used to be in. This new red tier is going to have more, I would say, liberal or open restrictions that the red tier previously did not have. So stay tuned for those updates on those, because that's going to allow people to get back out into the community and do the things that they love and the things that we've been restricted from doing here for, gosh, it's almost the anniversary, right? It's almost a 1-year anniversary.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Actually, the first shutdown in Ventura County was March 18th.
yeah.
Today's the anniversary, the first anniversary of it being declared a pandemic in the United States. And then next week on the 18th is when they did the stay-at-home shutdown in Ventura County. So I mean, and those were very dark days. So it's been a year, but we're here, and God forbid there's plenty that aren't, but but hopefully we're all on the right road and the right path.
Yeah, we are, and one of the other things I wanted to share with everybody that that we're excited about is with the president's the bill that just was passed in the Senate and also the House, and now the president signed off on it. The city is going to be sent an allocation. There's an estimated allocation of about a little around $5 million. That's what the initial estimate is. And so we're going to go back with council and try and figure out, what can the city do with those funds, and how are we going to be able to appropriate those funds to, help our community and help the city from some of the financial issues that, have plagued everybody as a result of COVID.
But unfortunately, Santa Paula was too small to even be able to get some of those grants in the first, or any money, as far as it's not easy for a municipality to get money to begin with.
Right.
And we were just way too small to even be considered at one point. So I'm really thrilled to hear that. That's excellent news.
Yeah.
And speaking of people going out, I saw your newsletter, the debut of your newsletter, and that was quite fun. So tell us about that.
Hey, well, yeah, thank you so much. We're really looking forward to the feedback. It was awesome putting that video newsletter together. And just to let everyone know, if you saw the newsletter, we're going to continue to push those newsletters forward to the community on a monthly basis. And the expectation is that we really get those out at the beginning of the month to share with the community what's going to be happening in our community in the upcoming month. So we're already actually working on the April edition right now.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, it was fun because, you had different department heads talk about what their departments are doing. You highlighted several businesses. You had just a lot of different, talked about some activities that were going on, and it was a real nice, and what I thought was interesting too was the fact that it was time stamped as you went, when it started, so you could see what port you might want to go and watch in case you weren't particularly interested in one subject. So I quite enjoyed it. What was that, about 14 minutes, I believe?
Yeah, roughly. It was, I think, a little over 13 minutes or so.
Yeah,
And hopefully everybody found the content, stimulating and something that, is going to help them out. So that's our goal, is to really put forward information that the residents want to stay in the know about, or things that are going to make their lives here in our city better.
absolutely. And speaking about what's going to make our lives better, Bob Allen is with us today because they're talking about, he's going to discuss, and Jonathan's going to jump in, about the sports broadcasting that's starting soon, that's going to be manned, as it were. And of course, there's going to be plenty of ladies involved by students. So Bob, nice that you're here today. You're too shy, so you're just behind the camera. So why don't you let us give us an update on the sport?
It's extremely timely that this whole thing has occurred, that we're discussing it today, okay? Because quickly, what we've done for a viewing audience, okay, is created a student sports broadcasting team made up of students from the high school and students from the community colleges, okay? We then learned with the city that there were funds in their PEG fund to put equipment in to generate content for Channel 10. So in working together with a company in Bakersfield, an 80-year-old company, we put together a system that went into the gym of 3 tilt pan and zoom cameras that can be controlled with a joystick from a control room, not having to be there. All of this made possible from the general funding from the city, okay, because we're creating content to be used on Channel 10. Well, in a very timely fashion with this whole pandemic, okay, approval was made to outfit the football stadium, and that is in the process and will be completed before the end of this month. Well, that is going to be just in time for the 2 football games that are coming up, with limited seating in the stands. In other words, there's going to be only 280 fans let into the whole stadium. So here we are with a whole broadcast team of students with equipment that is tantamount. No one else, no other school in the county has this type of operation ready. So thanks to I'm not going to call it a partnership, because it's really more a coalition of groups. And this was the city, the Santa Paula Unified School District, the Chamber of Commerce, the whole business community. And luckily for you and I, the media, we're helping get that information out. But the first game that is going to be broadcast will be on April the 9th, when they are going to be playing and hosting Carpinteria. So we have, because of that.
And that'll be streamed. Where will people be able to watch this? So
Right. You always get a link right on kdtv.com. That's the easiest place to remember. So it's one location, and in fact, there's going to be a link there for the Ojai Valley game that's being live streamed by their parents. Nobody else is doing students, but other people are doing something. And then the Fillmore game the same way. So between Ron Merson and myself, we've been working with the students, and looks like something that's going to be a really nice thing to promote the city of Santa Paula, and Santa Paula High School is a place, wow, we want to send our kids there.
Yeah, that's great. And not only that, I believe you'd said too that down the line they're going to actually create a class at the high school that's a media class, and kids will be able to get started. And I think one of the college districts is also looking into having a sports broadcasting program. So that just opens up all sorts of possibilities.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
If I might interject, guys, I mean, this is exactly the kind of innovation and, Bob and team have done a great job along with, the city partnering with the school district, and really, nice to see our city council support this type of effort, because it puts us on the front lines of, being ready for the future. If and when there was ever, another pandemic or something, but we would be able to live stream these material, these events to our community in a way that's never done before. So, and I did want to share something, because I know the question does come up from time to time and say, well, hey, where, how did these funds come about? And essentially, the funds are set up. There's a cable fund that's set up, that's paid for by the cable providers like Spectrum. And there's money put in there, and that specific money has to be utilized to provide content to the community. It can't be used for any other sources. So, council was able to partner again with the school district. They made a decision on supporting them. And because of this, now we have this great partnership, and we'll be able to help our community see some of these great sporting events.
Yeah, that's
So
going to
thank
be
you.
fun. Yeah, that is. I know everybody's looking forward to that.
In terms, before we end this, which it's a wonderful thing that everybody is working together, because what's going to happen with limited things, people being allowed in the stadium. So some of our businesses, like the draft, like, 126, they have monitors up there, okay? They could put these games up there and hopefully be able to invite people from the community to come out and root together. So, it's something that it's going to become community minded. And thankfully, we were there at the beginning, but Christine Schifferly, the deputy superintendent of the SPUSD, is basically now working on getting an accredited course for sports broadcasting, where the students would get credit not only for the course at the high school, but it will already be a pathways in the college.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, thank you for the city and, coming forth. Just to clarify for everybody, those are the funds that when Time Warner stopped supporting the cable access channel, what happened is that they have a certain percentage of every month's bills go into what's called a PEG fund. And this is the fund that basically was used, for this. So thankfully, we got some more coming, okay?
Yeah, part of the franchise fee, and that'll never go away. And that's the other good news,
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I really am, Bob. And congratulations. I know it's taken a couple of years to even just get to this point without before and thinking about it for a few years before then and doing the preliminary thing. So it's been a long road, as it were, so that's great. Congratulations to everybody, and to the city, and to Bob, and to Santa Paula, because, this is where it happens, is Santa Paula. So does anybody have any closing remarks or anything you'd like to say, or something you'd wish you brought up before?
No, I just wanted to let everybody know also, if you're interested, to stay tuned. Parks and Recreation, they're always thinking of creative ways to do things outside of the box during these difficult times. And so they have a Disney family game night that's coming up on the 19th here of March. And you have a chance to win a $50 gift card. So check that out at spcity.org and go to the Parks and Rec page. And then they're also sponsoring a citywide Easter egg scavenger hunt. And you can check out their video as well on their Facebook page. And that's going to be on the 27th of March from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So,
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. I saw,
yeah.
read about it and saw some of what they're doing. And who can resist a scavenger hunt,
Yeah, right. And this is going to be a not your normal scavenger hunt. So if you check out their video, they'll kind of explain how everything works. You get in your car and you kind of go around to different spots. It's going to be really cool.
What you should do too, you should try to get our friends with the dune buggies to see if they'll go ahead and, like they do with Santa, and maybe dress up all their dune buggies in Easter spring decorations.
Yeah,
and they could go ahead and drive around the route just to give the kids something else to look at.
yeah, that's a great idea, Peggy.
Yeah, they're a lot of
Great
fun, a great bunch of people. All right,
Yeah.
Bob, anything you'd like to add?
Other than the fact that I hope that everybody who continues watching this, okay, the city updates every week, as I told Jonathan, this is something that if we can get the people coming every time there's some important piece of information, okay, this is the way to get hyper-local news to the community. So Peggy, I thank you so much for the time and effort that you've put in, you know, to help make this happen too. So that if we can continue this, and every time there's some pertinent information to get to the community, all Jonathan has to do is call up and we can do 10, 15 minutes, and all of a sudden we've got something that gets to the community immediately.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that to me is what.
And Peggy makes it fun too. So
What's life without some fun? You know what?
You got that.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate having both of you today, and Bob, of course, would be here anyway, because he's our numero uno with the camera and makes all this possible. And of course, Jonathan with the City of Santa Paula, the management analyst, I got it right that time. And once again, I'm Peggy Kelly with the Mighty Santa Paula Times. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget, just because things are looking better, we still have to deal with COVID, and it can be deadly. So please wear your masks, wash your hands, social distance, and don't gather. So other than that, have a great time. Okay. And thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
thank you.